President Trump beating the Iranians at their own game. The president taking to Truth Social overnight, saying the United States to blockade ships entering or exiting Iranian ports on April 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, the Strait of Hormuz remains a critical waterway, and the Iranian military today is warning that no Gulf ports will be safe if their own ports are threatened. U.S. Central Command giving some new details on the blockade, saying the blockade will be enforced impartially against vessels of all nations entering or departing Iranian ports and coastal areas, including all Iranian ports on the Arabian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. CENTCOM forces will not impede freedom of navigation for vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz to and from non-Iranian ports.
A few hours from now, the United States Navy locks down the Strait of Hormuz, not to protect Iran, to choke them out. Trump just took Iran's own playbook and shoved it right back in their face. This is the biggest naval operation since the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I'm going to break down exactly what's happening and why it matters to you right now, today, at your gas pump, and in your paycheck. Here's what you need to know. J.D. Vance flew to Pakistan, set across from Iran's people for 21 hours. 21 hours. And Iran came back with a wish list that would make a hostage taker blush. They want us to recognize their control over the strait. They want war reparations. They want us, the United States, to pay them. They want to keep building a nuclear bomb, and they want to keep running a shakedown operation on every ship that moves through the most important waterway on the planet. Kind of like Tony Soprano. That's not a peace offer. That's a middle finger. So what does Trump do? Does he send another envoy, schedule another meeting, write a strongly worded letter?
What's the message to Iran?
Don't. No. He goes on Truth Social and says, effective immediately, the United States will blockade the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM confirmed it, 10 a.m. Eastern today. It's happening right now as I'm talking to you. And he didn't stop there. He ordered the Navy to hunt down and interdict every single ship on the open ocean that paid Iran a dime. Every one of them. You paid the bribe, you don't get safe passage anymore, period. You are funding all of this terror around the world if you pay Iran a penny, a single shekel. Now, let me show you what Iran's been doing, because this is the part that should make your blood boil. This is an article from NBC News detailing everything. Since this war kicked off, Iran shut down the strait for everybody except themselves. Traffic dropped 97%. Over 800 ships have been stranded. 20,000 sailors stuck on those ships, and they can't move. They attacked 22 vessels, killed 10 crew members. But Iran's own oil tankers are sailing right through. Loaded up crude at Kardak Island, shipping it to China, making money hand over fist while the rest of the world chokes and struggles. And then the IRGC set up what the shipping industry is calling the Tehran toll booth. You want through $2 million, but they only want it paid in Chinese yuan or Bitcoin, and that's per ship. They are not taking dollars. They build a 5-tier pricing system. Chinese ships get the discount. American link ships, denied. They literally passed a law making it official. That's not a navy. That's the mafia. That's a protection racket operating in international waters. And every dollar, every yuan they collect funds the missiles and drones that are attacking United States military in that area, that are killing our people. Trump just shut that down today, right now. So here's the play. And this is where you see the brilliance of this move. Iran shut the strait down for everyone and left it open for themselves. Trump is shutting it down for Iran and opening it for everyone else. Trump is shutting down the strait for Iran and letting it remain open for everyone else. That's the brilliance of this entire thing. That's a complete reversal. Iran was the toll booth operator. Now they're the ones locked out. The U.S. blockade targets all vessels heading to or from Iranian ports. Every Iranian port in the Gulf of Oman, all of it locked down. But ships going to non-Iranian ports, Saudi ports, UAE, Kuwaiti ports, you're clear. The United States Navy will escort you through. Now, what's that look like on the water? Destroyers and cruisers on a screening line, submarines underneath, P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft overhead, carrier air on standby, and minesweepers moving in to clear the mines Iran dropped throughout the strait and forgot where they were at. 2 Arleigh Burke destroyers, the USS Frankie Peterson and USS Michael Murphy, already crossed the strait 2 days ago. These are the first American warships through since this conflict started. Iran threatened them on radio.
Navy warship 121. This is Sepah Navy Station. You must alter course and go back to the Indian Ocean immediately. If you don't obey my order, you will be targeted. Out.
This is Coalition Warship 121. Engaged in transit passage in accordance with international law.
Our guys responded with 6 words: transit passage in accordance with international law, and kept moving. That's the United States Navy. The UK and France announced this morning they're building a 40-plus nation coalition for freedom of navigation. They won't join the blockade directly, but they're sending minesweepers and organizing escort operation. Even the countries that told Trump no a month ago are lining up now. It's funny how that works when you lead from the front. And I'm not sure if we can trust these people. I don't know how much longer we remain a part of the United Nations, because the money we're putting in is not returning any investment for us or our own freedom. Now, with this fresh, I say refresh because we've had time to reload. And over the last 24, 48, 72 hours, the United States has had load and load of logistics support aircraft flying into the Middle East, resupplying our aircraft, resupplying our ships, and possibly bringing more troops for a potential, I hate to say it, but a ground conflict. Donald Trump is now in the driver's seat. He used the reverse Uno card on these people. And with all of this, with the weakness that we have established in Iran, their military is depleted. Their air defense is depleted. I believe the president could very well start more airstrikes on them to continue to destroy any level of defense. Now, here's where it's going to get serious, though, and I mean regime-ending serious. 90% of Iran's oil, the thing that keeps their entire government alive, goes through one place, Karg Island. It's a little coral island in the Persian Gulf, 21 miles off the coast. If we zoom in here, this is fresh satellite imagery from Karg Island that shows what appears to be a fire burning there. It also is a lot of smoke. So have we already done something there? Has the United States military, maybe Israel, already dropped an airstrike on Karg Island this morning? Or is Iran trying to destroy some of their own munitions, maybe some uranium that could be hidden right in plain sight on their actual cash supply? I'm not sure how this works, but Karg Island could very well be the key to everything. That is their entire economy on a postage stamp. You see it sitting here. It is not very big, but that is Iran in a nutshell. Now, we already hit this island on March 7th and April 7th. Over 90 military targets destroyed, but the oil infrastructure has been untouched. I believe this is on purpose. I believe this is a veiled threat because that's the card you hold. You don't burn your leverage. Trump said it himself. Maybe we take Karg Island. Maybe we don't. We have options. There are 3 Marine expeditionary units either on station or deploying right now. That's a little over 7,000, close to 8,000 Marines with amphibious capability floating within striking distance. You don't move that many Marines for a photo op. That's a seizure force. That is a message. A blockade of the strait is a blockade of Karg Island alone. Just intercepting these tankers, not even putting boots on the ground, collapses Iran's revenue overnight. China buys 80% of their oil. China buys 80% of their oil. You block Karg, China loses its cheap Iranian crude, and suddenly Beijing has a real good reason to pick up the phone and tell Tehran the party's over. Now, this article comes from Breitbart, and it's alluding to the fact that China is planning to deliver air defense weapons to Iran. And this could change everything because China's starting to play both sides. And that's where the story gets worse. China is preparing a weapons shipment to Iran. U.S. intelligence is saying China is getting ready to ship man-pad air defense systems to Iran, shoulder-fired, heat-seeking missiles, the exact kind of weapon that brought down our F-15 just over a week ago. With 2 of our people inside of it, that went down. Those air crews spent over a day hiding inside of enemy territory before we got them out. And China, they helped broker the ceasefire? Maybe, I don't know. They're buying Iranian oil at a discount. They need Iran. We don't. And now they're secretly shipping weapons through third countries designed to kill American pilots. And I want you to let that sink in for a second. They sit at the table, they shake your hand, and then they pass weapons under it. Trump's answer? 50% tariff if it's confirmed. And this blockade squeezes China too. 70% of their oil comes from this region. If Iran can't export, China can't import. Beijing went from just playing both sides to sitting in the squeeze. You can't be the peacemaker and the arms dealer. You've got to pick one because we're done pretending we don't see it. One more thing, and this is the one thing that should fire you up. Iran's top negotiator, the speaker of their parliament, went on social media yesterday. He posted a screenshot of gas prices near Washington, D.C., and he wrote, "Enjoy the current pump figures. Soon you'll be nostalgic for $4 to $5 gas." He's laughing at you. He's laughing at the trucker paying $200 to fill his tank. He's laughing at the single mom choosing between gas and groceries. He's laughing at every working American getting squeezed right now because Iran decided to hold the world's energy supply hostage. That's who we're dealing with. That's who refused peace on Saturday. That's who's running a toll booth in international waters and mocking American families while they cash checks in Chinese yuan. And that's why Trump just sent the Navy. And I'll show you here their tweet or his post with him at this screenshot showing all these gas prices around, the United States. You see this? That's coming from this leader that is negotiating for a peace deal. Does that sound like peace? Does that sound like what they want? Now, this last thing, this isn't new. In the early 1800s, North African pirates were charging American ships for safe passage. Pay the toll or get seized. Does it sound familiar? We paid for years until Thomas Jefferson said enough. He sent the Navy and the Marines to the shores of Tripoli and ended it. That's where the Marine Corps hymn comes from. That principle, freedom of the seas, America doesn't pay tribute to thugs, is 220 years old. And today, right now, Donald Trump is enforcing it. Different ocean, same American answer. The blockade is live. Iran's Navy is on the ocean floor. Their air defenses are shredded. The only thing keeping their government alive is Karg Island. And that's one phone call from going dark. They had their chance for peace. They blew it. Now they're going to find out what happens when you try to extort the United States of America. Hit subscribe. Drop a thumbs up in the comments if you're standing with our sailors and Marines in the Strait today. I'll see you in the next one.